Right? That was it, right? We got it. That's the thing, isn't it? And then I can do this over here, and that starts the show, right? Right. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is February 22nd, 2024. We're gonna write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I'm feeling the radio voice. I can hear it. I can feel it in my throat. How you doing over there? Let me bring on the chat room. They're right over there. Hello, hello. Nah, that background is not. Hang on. I was tinkering with something this morning. I'll show you what I was doing this morning. Even though I turned that off, it's still on there. Oh, I know what it is. I know what that is. Yeah. 1 second. It is this one, and over here. Boop. There we go. That's better. Who released the Kraken? Seattle did. That's who. That's who. How you doing there? And why didn't it copy across the message there? How you doing there, Abdul Wiza? Hello on YouTube. Hello to you, Horatio in Romania. I saw C Sharp Titan is there on YouTube as well. We're broadcasting live. You can see the messages here. We're broadcasting live to Twitch and YouTube. YouTube viewership is trending upwards. I like seeing that. And I can share with you that next week will be the return of C Sharp with C Sharp Fritz on Wednesdays. I'm going to get that episode scheduled later today. But we're going to dive back in and we're going to be talking about Blazor, getting started with Blazor on .NET 8. We're going to do a good 6 to 8 week series talking about all the cool things that you can do with Blazor on .NET 8. Napalm, hello. I had a good conversation with Napalm last night. They were busy and got some things done. We'll see if we take a look at that today. I've got 1 or 2 things that I want to get to, and we'll dig in and take a look at that. C Sharp Titan asks, for TagZap, it would be really cool if we could specify a delay for the card transition flip, as well as incorporating different theme styles for dark and light mode. Dark and light mode is already built in, already there. And it picks up whatever your preference is in the browser. So if you have your browser set to light mode, it'll put it on light mode. Dark mode, dark mode. I prefer dark mode, so you always see it here on stream as dark mode. The card transition flip, I had that as a to-do item. I had that out there on the in the list of issues, and I don't think is it still there? Did I close it? What's going on? Where is it? Issues, animation, no. Smooth animations when new cards arrive. Configure. No, I don't have anything there for it. We can add that. That's easy to add. We could do that today if we wanted to. How you doing there, Dr. Cox? Hello. Cymac, good afternoon to you. Let me see here. So Raj has a question. Is Blazor new technology or is it outdated? Blazor is brand new. It's built on top of let me get some music playing here, and I realize it's not back there in the background, and we'll talk about this. I'll go with the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist today. I'm going to scroll way down here. Let's start with this song, Cyber Delight. There it is. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify, like I am. There's a whole bunch of playlists out there, all different genres. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music we're listening to today. So Blazor's not outdated. Blazor is getting new investments every release of .NET. It was originally released, production supported, 5 years ago now. It was in an experimental mode before that for a good 2-3 years while folks were tinkering and figuring out how does this work with WebAssembly? As the browsers have matured, as the .NET compilation pipeline has matured, Blazor for WebAssembly has gotten significantly better. However, as we've seen here on stream, and as you dig into the Blazor instructions, you can run Blazor other places on the server inside of a native application, use the exact same markup and code. It will work exactly the same in those different locations. That said, though, you do have to account for you're not running in the browser, right? When you're building an application that runs in the browser and you need to get data from a database, you need to request that from an API, from a server that's going to deliver that to you. When you're running on a server, when you're running in a native application, you can probably request directly from a database, from some data store. So there are differences in how you write code because of where it runs, and that's kind of to be expected. So, and what is the future of Blazor? They're making it faster. They're making it smaller, more performant. They're polishing the edges right now for .NET 9. They're polishing the edges, making it easier for folks to do things across the 5 different render modes that we have now for Blazor, right? You don't just have run it on the server, run it in WebAssembly. There's also an auto mode where it'll run wherever. It'll run on the server if it's not available on WebAssembly, and it'll eventually run on WebAssembly. There's a static mode, and then there's a static streaming mode. They're doing things to make that better for .NET 9. .NET 10 plans, they're too far out for them to answer at this point. So, hello, Robert Steffen. Good to see you. You just switched to .NET Core with Angular from. You switched from .NET Core with Angular to Blazor development. Cool. Hey, look, there's hooks in Blazor so that you can call Blazor components and interact with them from your Angular app. You don't have to completely transition. So one of the things that I've been pushing and stressing and trying to get folks to understand is that some of the tools that the Microsoft team is building for web development are for web developers, not just .NET developers. So there's features in Blazor that are designed so that if you're a Vue developer, if you're a Angular developer, you're a React developer, you can take advantage of those natively compiled components and features that are available in the .NET ecosystem, bring them into your existing tools and applications, and continue using that framework that you're comfortable with and you have a significant investment in. That's something that Microsoft historically, 30 plus years of building development tools, has kept as a tenet of how tools are built and delivered. Everything is backwards compatible to a fault. And we're going to make sure that you can use your tools, your investments in other places. That's pretty cool. C# Titan asks, since C# with C# Fritz is returning, will I still be doing C# in the Card series? Yes, because the In the Card series is a C# for beginners. I'm writing episode 10 right now, which is about other collection types. I'm hoping to record either tonight or tomorrow morning and get that published. And I have a blog post that I'm about 3/4 through that I was writing yesterday about the C# in the Cards website that I want to talk through and finish with you on stream, you chat room, and we'll publish that together here on stream to get things started. Abdul Wiza says there is no job opportunity in the Arab world or in any company that uses Blazor. Will Blazor enter the Arab world? That's not up to me. That's up to folks in that part of the world. Um, Blazor's still growing. It's a very competitive landscape out there. I mean, Vue had been around for a good 5-6 years before it became the framework for everybody to use, right? Angular, it was an overnight success, but it had been used extensively inside Google for several years before it was made public. These things take time for trends to happen. So, there are, Abdulaziz, there absolutely are folks of Middle Eastern descent that work at Microsoft. There are Microsoft offices in the Middle East. There are folks that I've worked with Arabic folks on my project teams. There are, yeah. So, and they do fantastic. They do fantastic work. And I really enjoyed my time collaborating with those folks. I'm like the Godfather with .NET and C#. Found me online a few days ago. Really loved the tutorial. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Raj. Really appreciate the kind words. I'm pushing. I'm trying to create more content. I'm trying to get more folks to pick up. My biggest challenge right now, the wall that I can't break through, is Reddit. I can't promote my own content on Reddit. It's one of those rules. So I can't post about C# in the cards on Reddit. I need somebody else to do that and promote and push that a little bit on, and we'll see if it gets picked up. But when I look at my analytics, my YouTube content, my Twitch content, because I can't promote it, I haven't been able to break into Reddit. That's my biggest challenge, and why some folks have had a hard time discovering me. The only places that I can self-promote are LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you're not following me in one of those three places, so hard to do. I need other folks mentioning and saying, hey, this is really good, check this out. So Xbox One has been working as a full-time Blazor developer for the last 3 years. Very cool. Yeah. Hey, Cymac, hello. First you're hearing of the C# in the card series. So I'll recap and I'll drop a link here. I'll go over to the screen and I'll show you a little bit of what we've been building here. There's the website for it. So the idea here, and this was something that I did a few years ago. I did the C# with C# Fritz series live on stream. Oh my gosh, TBD Gamer with the raid. Hello. Go ahead, take a look.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There you go. Did it say what it was? Did it properly say? Yeah, there we go. Welcome in, TBD Gamer and your raid. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Fairy Wings. Oh, look.
Fairy Wings just resubscribed for 64 months. Less than 3B.
I do this on her stream to her. We're being trolled, friends. So good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for that support. We got a raid. We got some resubs there. Thank you so much. I was answering a question about this series. This was a series that I originally did about 3 years ago on the Microsoft channels, and I was asked. We were canceled. We were told, "Hey, we're done. You've presented this series. You don't need to represent it." And I've been asked by several folks in the community, "Hey, it'd be great if you could go through and update that content and present it and share it." And that's what this is. It's an update. It's a republication of my C# with C# Fritz series, but I've taken all the samples and I relate them back to playing cards, not playing a card game, playing cards and stuff. So non-technical folks, right? And I've got some fantastic creators in the Twitch community that have been checking out the series, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I get this. This makes sense to me." And our friend Junie Von Esch has been mentioning she's been checking this out and following and learning a little bit. It's the website I built with Blazor. There's very easy to follow along samples here, where I even teach about how to use the Fisher Yates shuffle algorithm. I keep coming back and saying that, and I feel like I'm saying it too much. How to shuffle cards programmatically. Real easy to follow, and there's even samples you can download and use locally. So this is something that I'm pushing forward on. There's a YouTube playlist about it. I'm proud of where that's going, and we're going to do more with that as it builds out and grows. After the next episode, I'm going to take the first 10 episodes notebooks, all the written material that supports it, and I wrote a lot of material, and I'm gonna put together an ebook that you can download and put on your Kindle or whatever, and that'll be the first draft of 5 versions of it as I add each 10 new episodes to it. So that's coming. I'm really excited about that. Let me head back over to chat over here. My gosh. Hello. Let me continue down the list. Thank you so much, Fairy and TBD Gamer, for the raid and the resub. How you doing there, Juan Van? Most of the learning resources in the field of .NET are paid. Take a look at learn.net. There is my team builds that website, that content, and you'll see all kinds of videos, tutorials, samples out there from Microsoft about it. My video series is out there, and it's going to be growing. I'm going to be doing this Blazor hands-on discussion series starting next week. I've done full-day workshops on these channels. You can find the recordings of those. They're all free on YouTube. Ads run every now and again during them. Real easy to take a look and get into those. Rosh says, make an open source project with .NET Blazor so you can contribute and learn more. That's what TagZap is. And some of the work that we're going to do today is in simplifying and making the startup experience for folks that want to contribute easier. So I want to start with finishing a blog post. Today we're going to finish a blog post about building the C# in the Cards series website and how we made it really fast with Blazor. And I'm going to show you some of the techniques that I used in there. And we're going to publish that blog post, and it'll be available on my blog. We're going to take a look and go through some of the startup experience as a new developer, and how to make that easier for folks to get started contributing to TagZap. And then our friend Napalm Codes put together some open telemetry configuration for us. We're going to take a look at that today as well and learn a little bit about that. How you doing, Deflux Streams? Whoop whoop. Good to see you. Hello. So thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. It's been a few minutes. My name is Jeff Fritz, and that's what I have on the schedule today. I'm talking about and learning about and teaching about how to build better websites with .NET. So how you doing there, Amal? Good morning to you on YouTube. Merge your PR. We'll try to get there. Bite Lord on Twitch says, hi. If there was no .NET Core, what would my soul be most interested in from ASP.NET? Web Forms, Web API, MVC, or something else? MVC, I think. So that's where I would lean right now. So, yeah. That said, though, Blazor's here. Let's do that. Web Forms was I was the Web Forms program manager for a year and a half. I enjoyed working on the product. It's something that helped me really launch my career, not just get in and start software development, but launch me into public speaking and eventually picking up a job at Microsoft. So Web Forms means a lot to me, but I would be on MVC if I wasn't. If I wasn't building with Blazor and .NET Core. Dr. Cox says, is there any plan on how I will dip into Aspire? Yes. You constantly face the problem with service discovery for Blazor WebAssembly apps. What do you mean? Give me a little bit more details on that, Dr. Cox. Let's talk about that. Abdul Waisa on YouTube, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm trying. I'm not from. It's the first time I'm seeing your name. I want to make sure I pronounce it right, the way that you prefer it. When I worked on bringing this project to Visual, you got an infinite number of errors. Yes, and I'm trying to fix that. That's absolutely on the agenda, Abdul Waisa. I want to make sure that we get that right, so that it is it's a no-brainer to get started. I think about it. It's my own metric. I think the F5 ability of a project, right? When you open a new .NET project, some source code from GitHub that you download, when you open it in Visual Studio, how much work do you have to do before you can press F5 and start the application? What's involved there? The F5 ability, how much effort is in it? And right now, TagsApp has a little ways to go. Has a little ways to go, not going to lie. I want to fix that so that it's easier for folks to contribute. Aspire is very interesting, Deflux, yes. You've yet to find a good here's? Oh, here's how you can use Aspire with Blazor. Oh, it's pretty easy to use Aspire with Blazor. Like, we could put TagsApp into Aspire in less than a half an hour here on stream if we wanted to. Like, I could totally do that, and we would be there quickly. The question is, right now, TagsApp is a monolithic application. As we go to break it into pieces so that we can scale parts of it independently of each other, where and when does it make sense to do that, and how does Aspire help with that? And that's kind of where I'm hanging. That's where I'm kind of waiting, is let me get to a point where it makes a lot of sense to do that, and then do it. Napalm points out dev containers help a lot, but support in Visual Studio has been a mixed bag. Yes, dev containers aren't a great experience in Visual Studio right now, but Visual Studio Code is really good with it. Not just Visual Studio Code, but also GitHub code spaces. So you can open projects right in GitHub and dive in and have full Visual Studio Code there ready to go. So, Abdul Waisa. Okay. If someone started learning Belize Beanstack without learning MVC. Belize Beanstack. I'm intrigued. What's Belize Beanstack? Do you have a link or something? Help me out there. I'm not familiar with that. Dr. Cox has an Aspire project where have a minimal API and a front end and the new .NET Blazor web app with render mode auto. Cool. On first load, I can access the API no problem, as Aspire provides the URI to the API to the Blazor server, blah, blah, blah. However, once the switch to WebAssembly is made, the API URI is no longer provided by Aspire. So, okay, in this scenario, Dr. Cox is explaining here. Your WebAssembly, your Blazor WebAssembly is hosted on a server. You need to go back to the server to get the data. If you're doing fetches from inside your component. In order to do that, go back, you need to know the address of that server. Well, you need to pass that into the WebAssembly application, and you can do that by saying, right, environment.hostnamer, I forget what it's called, and you'll be able to pick up what the host is and kind of bolt that onto your requests. So, how you doing there? Is it Redwayne? Is that how you pronounce that? Hello. Any suggestions for integrating Socket.io server with a Blazor app? Why Socket.io? Socket.io is an Express. It's a Node thing. You can do that. You can. You're going to have to stand up your own JavaScript libraries to interact with that, and then call back into .NET from it. Tricky. The way that we do that in the .NET world is we use a library called SignalR. It gives us the same features as Socket.io. It's an abstraction over WebSockets so that you can fail over to other technologies if the WebSocket is blocked. This means that you have accessibility to that push technology regardless of how folks are interacting with your web server. So that's the way that we .NET developers prefer to work with sockets. Working with a Socket.io server is a little bit trickier, and like I said, you're gonna have to write your own JavaScript connection and listening and pushing things. There might be somebody with a NuGet package that connects to Socket.io, but our preferred recommended way, because of the failover capabilities, is with SignalR, and that ships as part of ASP.NET. So when we get into TagsApp a little bit later, you'll see we have a lot of SignalR in there and interaction with WebSockets to push content on screen with that. Hey there, Pass the Props asks, can I explain what a .NET is for a 5-year-old? I'm coming from standard HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a little bit of React right here. All right, here we go. .NET is a collection, is a full stack of tools, frameworks, programming languages that allow you to build applications. This means you have there are several programming languages that ship in the box, as it were, for .NET developers. C#, Visual Basic, and F# are the 3 programming languages that Microsoft ships that work with .NET. Okay. Additionally, Microsoft provides debuggers, build tools, command line tools that allow you to scaffold and create your applications. Now, I've been saying applications, not websites, because .NET lets you build web applications that run on a server, that run in a browser, that run on the cloud, allow you to build services, service workers, allow you to build native applications that run on Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. You can use .NET to build and deliver applications that run on little IoT devices. So .NET is a general purpose collection of development tools built and managed by Microsoft and the .NET Foundation that allow you to deliver applications that run everywhere. Your web servers, your console applications can run on Linux, can run in containers, both Windows-based containers and Linux-based containers. All kinds of options for where you want to take your .NET knowledge. So if you know how to program in one of the base programming languages, C#, Visual Basic, or F#, you can build with one of the frameworks, one of the .NET frameworks, to make a website, to make a mobile application, and deliver and run it wherever you'd like. Really great stuff for you to have a portable skill set that you can reuse in other places. That's pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, Byte Lord, I got the Seattle Kraken hat on today. I'm hosting a meeting for the .NET team later, and it's a way to make some friends in Seattle, to wear a little bit of Seattle swag, right? Thank you, Mandra Dev. Yeah, I might have explained a little bit about .NET in the past. This would have been great using story mode. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I'm having a problem with the mic. We'll get that running. SE Mike asks, is .NET for iOS and Android? Yes. So previously it was Xamarin, as Ionescu points out. Xamarin's been updated and merged into the rest of .NET, and now it's called .NET MAUI. And .NET MAUI is being upgraded and updated, made more performant, made to build smaller applications, and you can build and target both iOS and Android with one executable. One project, not one executable. You're welcome. Happy to answer questions like that. So, one second here. And taking care of this. So, yeah. Answering questions and whatnot from folks, family that need to be handled. You're welcome, past the props. I should bring the Blazor jacket to the meeting. No. Not going to go quite that far. How you doing there? A crapteen? Hello? Is that a bad tasting cracker? Is that what that is? I don't know. Help me with that. So I put up a blog post. Not even a blog post. I put up a social media post 3 days ago, about how I really like the performance that I'm seeing from the C# in the Cards website, right? And looking at the analytics, I have Google Analytics running on the site. There's viewership is up significantly over the last week. Banke, thank you for the follow. So that's nice, and seeing the performance of the website on my Azure portal. Thank you for the follow, past the props. Appreciate that. I want to make it easier for folks to take Blazor and realize you can build something really cool and fast with this. No audio? Do I? Oh, no, hey, how you doing, Reese? So I've gotten into this a little bit, and I'll show you the gauges here on Azure, and we'll take a look in just a minute. My goodness, a couple of really good questions coming in. I read and answer all your questions as best I can here. Robert Stefan has a question about, and we'll get into the blog post and the performance here in just a minute. It's important to me to talk to you. If you seek to change the offset in a C# stream by a fixed size array length later on in the execution, can I come back to the origin and copy the data from my array into the stream? Depends on what type of stream you're using. There are some streams that are forward only, and you won't be able to go back. If you're using a memory stream, for example, you can change your position and go back and scan back and forth in a stream. Other streams that are forward only, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. You won't be able to scroll through that. Best engine to create a MOBA game? I would point to Godot right now. Unity would be where I would go, and you're going to need to pay to get into that. But for somebody who's just starting, I would get into Godot right now. Folks, the game development community is falling in love more and more with C#. They're really picking up C#, and there is a groundswell to do more with C#. So, thank you for joining us, Benkei. J.R. Plebeian asks, does MVVM exist to make people hate doing UIs? I don't use MVVM directly when building user interfaces. So, Cog3D asks, where's ClipTalk? Yeah, ClipTalk's gone. ClipTalk was costing me several $100s a month to run, and Twitch released competing functionality that was native to the application. I wasn't going to get viewership or ad revenue to be able to support that, and it was too much for me to grow and work with. So I loved my time building ClipTalk. It's not something sustainable. So sorry. Godot with C# seems painful. This is a great comment. Thank you for the follow. This is a great comment. Coding with Carlos. There you go. Network stream is forward only. The folks out there will say, "Hey, working with this tool set is painful. I don't like these tools. They're not my vibe. I don't get along with them. I really prefer to not do things the way that these tools encourage you to build." And that's totally acceptable. It's up to us as developers to find that tool set that does fit with the way that we think. I go back to DHH describes when he invented Ruby on Rails. As he was writing it, he got more and more excited about it because, and here's the quote, it fit his brain like a glove. It worked the way that he thought about software development. So Godot might not fit the way that you think like it. Unity might. Unity's a paid product. And that's okay. If that works the way that you need to work, investing and spending money on tools that give you that productivity, that comfort, that's a good thing because then you're supporting those developers to make those tools better for you. And we all need to, at the end of the day, put food on the table. So I'm okay with supporting developers by paying for support for licenses to their products and whatnot. I mean, at the end of the day, folks want to be able to sell games. Guacamole!
Subscribed for 36 months. Good morning.
Good morning to you. I want to be able to sell access to applications or put up advertisements in videos that folks watch and I get paid. Those types of things that developers want and need to do because we all, at some point, we all need to get paid. So, like, unfortunately, that's the way the world works, and we can't all give everything away all the time. So, Napalm's colleague likes the method names that are async convention with method name async as a suffix. Yeah. And you found an analyzer to call you out on that. Oh, man. So for those of you that don't know, analyzers in .NET are a little tool that will review your code, analyze your code at build time, and come back and report warnings or errors if you're doing things that are not along the way that the analyzer is trying to encourage you to build better software. So, if Unreal had C#, honestly, I think the engine war would be over. That's interesting. That's very interesting. The Unreal Engine, you see Fortnite and the folks at Epic Games investing heavily, building on it, and it's a beautiful engine. The way that it builds and renders and delivers, first-person point of view games, folks, I see significantly using it for. I don't know if you can do other games with it, but it's it's very compelling, and the fact that it's all C++ is a bit of a hurdle for a lot of folks. C# is more forgiving than C++. That said, though, you could still shoot yourself in the foot with C#. You can with any programming language. But C# as a managed language is a bit safer. I'll use air quotes, safer for that. There was a project for C# Unreal Engine, but it's gone quiet. Oh. Godot is quite light. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So look, I've been thinking more and more about some of the code, some of the techniques.
Squirrel!
Do we have it now? Can you hear me now? Bueller. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, now okay. I see what happened there. Even though I had the mixer up and I could see it going. What is this video? This is, right, I got some marketing money and we're broadcasting in the middle of a street here so that folks can see me as they're driving to work. So, I don't know what city it is. It's a live webcam. Live, watching me broadcasting to folks that are driving by. So, it's not a new office. It's just I'm broadcasting on a billboard now. So, actually, you know what? I do now have see, now the shtick I was about to hang on. I need to go fix the other things. One second, got to do this. And there's so much more fun that I want to have on stream with some of these things, and I just started getting this working, and I was pretty happy about it. I got it this morning working, and I will here. There we go. I have all my audio sitting in a scene that I need to include. It breaks your heart that you hate C++ so much. C++, for the better or the worst, is the base of where folks are building software. So here I can yell at people in down in the city. Let's go and say hello. Hey there, city people. When you're walking by, there's plenty to see here. When you're driving by, I can find my way into all of the street signs and talk to you, and say hello. So, hey, you in the bike! Hey, no, don't go by. Where'd you go? Oh, they left. So, no, we're gonna get all kinds of places and teach people all about .NET is what I think. So we're syndicated. We're live on 3 signs here in the middle of the street. So, they've been hacked. That's right. It is some Slavic country. So, hey, there goes the guy on the bike again. Hey, wait, no, don't go. I want to talk to you about C#. It's amazing. They're gone. I'm going back over here. I like it over here on the side and have all this empty space next to me. I don't know. It might be Ukraine. Could be. I don't know. I just grabbed the video. I thought it was funny. So, no, let's go back over here. So, clearly a JavaScript guy. Right. I tell you. Maybe a fan of coffee. That could be too. Right? So, let me dive in. Let me head over to the code. I want to show you the performance of the C# in the cards website is just crazy stupid. So my response time is literally in the tens of milliseconds, and I'll even open this up to, right. Let's even look at the last 12 hours. There, like 30 milliseconds is my peak over the last 12 hours response time, and I've had hundreds of requests coming through to the website. So and I'll share the link again. But this is a Blazor website that I built and is hanging out there, and folks are connecting into and interacting with, and I mean, oh gosh, I'm at a peak of 11 milliseconds response time. Like the requests are coming in and they're going out screaming fast to these, and this is all built with .NET and Blazor. So I got some really good responses on social media about the performance of this. Hey, that's really cool. I got to check it out. That's pretty snappy. And I want to share with folks why it's so fast, how it's able to respond and not hang and deliver content so quickly. Like, this is, I think it's pretty darn good. So Jeremy, yeah, that's what I want to get into. I started writing the blog post. I'm using WordPress on my blog. So this is using static site rendering. So the content, the Blazor content that I'm painting on the screen is being rendered on the server, but then I put extensive output caching on it. Like, this is a static website for the most part. Cache that stuff for a really long time. I don't care. The next time I put new content on the website, it'll load up and show more stuff out there, and I'm okay with that. My Visual Studio popped up just off screen there. There we go. So, right, this is a static website. I added an interactive WebAssembly component for the pager that you see on the front page right there. And there's no delay in how it presents because it pre-renders on the server too. So the pager of content pre-renders on the server. I have it output cached for a very long time. And when the WebAssembly is available in your browser, it takes over and we're able to do quick paging and interaction with this. Right? So I like that. I like that a lot. How can I get more folks to pick up and learn and embrace some of the techniques that I've used? And that's what I want to finish with you here today on stream. So Jeremy asking the right question that I answer in the first section of the blog post. It's static site rendering. It's Blazor, but easier. So I actually included a gist here that has, here's my head content with all the stuff to be preloaded, and the static content down here for the about page, Open Graph and Twitter meta tags. It's a static page, and I'm using WebP image format. So the original PNG you see on the about page, this right here, man, that's a good looking fella. That was 450K. It's a nice quality image, not gonna lie. But I compressed it to 30K as a WebP. Same size, same image size. That saved me 93%. Do it. Do it. All the data that I'm using are static files on disk. It's a CSV sitting out here. Check this out. The data about the posts, there it is. Like, yep, same quality. Same quality, Ragged Reese. Check it. I mean, take a look. That doesn't look too bad, does it? Like, it's linking the WebP here. Image, Jeff WebP. There it is. 600 by 600. And I scaled it down to 400. Like, sure. Which tool did I use to compress? I opened the image in paint.net and compressed it. Just saved as the other format. I know. Who is that amazing individual there? That is a fine looking fella. So all my data for this is static on disk. I can open this in Excel and work on it, but I'm using a library called Link to CSV. I load the data. It's sitting on disk. It's in a hidden folder. I should mention it's in a hidden folder. And I put it when I need to get the post from disk. I should fix the tabbing here. That is ridiculous. Hi, Trigal. Welcome. I have it fetch from an in-memory cache, so it doesn't even touch disk. And since the only way that posts get updated is when I upload new content, I don't care. When I upload new content, it's going to reset the web server anyway and restart. Let's go over here to the gist. No, not the raw. Give me the gist. See if I can fix that. See, I put them in as tabs here, but you're not going to let me change the tabs on this? Tabs? No, not 8, 2. Update that. Refresh. Because that is hideous how far over that is. No. You're... the embedding here. Right. I think... No, it's the same one. Same one. I was hoping to get that tab size down so that, yeah, it's doing a tab size of 8, and that's just ridiculous. Going across. Can I change the embed? Tell me more. No. Because, dear Lord, that looks awful. So much wasted white space. Embed gist, control tab size. Like, I don't want to convert it to spaces. Yeah, what's the deal with tab sizes? Tab size rendering preference. TS equals size URL parameter. Okay, so if I go back over here, and if I go to this, so can I say TS, right? TS, was that it? TS equals 2. Right? Save that. And then I'll be able to hit the preview. Yeah, Google that with Bing. You want the card project? I'm not going to share the project because it's got the markdown files in it. No, that didn't do anything. No, that didn't do anything. You found a workaround solution? Oh yeah. What did you find? Like, I want to force it. Relative CSS. So... No. You make me sad. Whatever. Right? Is it going to give me... better tabbing? No. Bummer. Is the in-memory cache Redis? No, it's in memory. Redis is external. So, yeah. Tab size rendering preference. Can I force it for an embed? No. Oh well. So the in-memory cache that's being used it's just an in-memory cache. That's not Redis. So Redis would be external. That would be something else to consider at some point in the future if I needed to scale. But right now, for the performance of this website, I don't care. Oh my gosh. Lots of requests coming in, and it's still holding at 5-10 milliseconds. Right? Shrink this down and look at the last 30 minutes so we can see where some of you are requesting and interacting with it. So, oh gosh, we got up to 40 milliseconds. 40 milliseconds. Did C# add async to constructors? No. Embed issues are a problem with WordPress, but you know what? It works just fine for me. So, let's finish talking about this, and I can get your feedback about the things you want to know about, and make sure I get into this blog post. I'll get it published, and we'll go through it, and we'll move on to some of the startup issues with TagsApp, getting folks on board. I didn't see that message from Ali on YouTube. Just started learning Blazor. I'm following a course on Udemy trying to make a commercial web app. I was wondering, why isn't Blazor much more popular? Because the JavaScript frameworks, Angular, React, and Vue, have significant communities around them. They'll come around to Blazor. When you see what Blazor can do, they'll come around. And that's one of the reasons I'm writing this blog post, is to show here's what Blazor can do. So, let me see here. I could add other cache options like Redis to the site, but with how small the data I want to cache is, there is no need. I don't need that level of I don't need that sophistication at this point. Okay. The other things that I've done to make this extremely fast on the homepage. So I've talked about putting output cache attributes on things here. Right, let me go back to this. So yeah, I mentioned, yeah, there we go. Output caching. And I've actually opened it up from 600 seconds to 86,400. Literally like days. I think that's 10 days that it'll sit there in output cache. Yep, use JavaScript with Blazor. Yep. Learning both side by side, it can. It can. Totally. The last thing that I did is, and I'm going to mention about pre-rendering and putting WebAssembly content out there as my last bit. So, let's see. Let's go back to visual so it's a little bit nicer. Yeah, there we go. Heading to I'm not going to talk about the Markdown. The Markdown I output cache as well. So each one of the lessons that you see on the website, right? This is driven from Markdown. And that YouTube link takes forever to render. That's not me, that's YouTube. But I have the output cache vary by route values. So whatever the episode number is, it caches different values based on different output based on that episode number. But I render the content right here. And it goes and gets that post. Not that one. Here it is. It gets that post from disk and writes it out inside the markdown of this page. And yeah, right, Reese? Like, No joke. No, take that down to 30 minutes. So, right, 500 some requests a few minutes ago, and took 40 seconds. So what? So what? Let's see here. Yeah. I should also talk about the output cache on the lessons details, I guess. Nah, don't need to go into it. There we go. So, pre-rendered WebAssembly, pre-rendered interactive WebAssembly content is fast. Really fast. Let me dictate. What do you say I dictate? I did Windows H there. Windows H brings up dictation in Windows, and you can just start talking to your computer. Wherever your cursor is in a text box, with Windows 11, it'll just start putting in text for you. I wanted to add a pager to the front page of the website so that you could see a collection of the latest 6 episodes in the video series, period. This was going to be an interactive component, but I still wanted the homepage to render really quickly and have a fresh, speedy response time as you page through and look at the various episodes that are available. Period. The natural way to do this with Blazor is to build a WebAssembly component that will run on the client and render data as users click on the buttons for that collection of articles. Let's clean this up. I wanted to add a pager to the front page of the website so you could see a collection. I wanted to add a smaller, a subset of the lessons to the front, so you could see so you could see the latest 6 episodes in the video series, and scroll back and forth to the other episodes. This should be an interactive component. I still wanted the homepage to render quickly and have a fresh, speedy response time as you page through and look at the various episodes that are available. The natural way to do this with Blazor spelled wrong, we can fix that. That will run on the client. Render data as users click on the buttons for that collection of articles. I wrote a simple pager component that would receive a collection of post data. I'm going to call it, even though my object is called a post, I'll call it lesson. And render those, render cards for each lesson. Since we already know that the collection of lesson data is less than 2 kilobytes in size, I don't have a problem sending the entire collection of data into the browser to be rendered. Period. Let's make this 2 KB like that. Let me see. Let me go to home. It's right there. Let's kind of hammer home the way that this is presented. By doing something like... No. Like that. Why you don't like this? Yeah, I know. And for the purposes of showing this off, here's the component. I'll remove that. There we go. So let me put together just a little gist to show that. Give me a new one here. Razor showing the pager post collection for C# in the cards website. And we'll call this home Razor, and I'll just paste that in. Sure. Create that, and I'll embed it. Ba-ba. Grab this text, scroll to the bottom. When I use the render mode attribute to force the render mode to WebAssembly, comma, ASP.NET will pre-render and cache a version of that component with the home page, period. After viewers download the WebAssembly content, it will hand control over to WebAssembly, and it will be a fully interactive component for them to be able to work with. Period. It didn't write the period. Let's make this the right capitalization. Put one of those, and let's add a screenshot from the web page because that's the kind of guy that I am. Right? Did I put a screenshot on this page yet? Nope. So let's grab a screenshot. I like to say comma and period just to force it to render, to write that content. Otherwise, sometimes it skips it. Did it paste that content? I don't think it did. No. I'll just call it pager, sure. Did it munge it? No. Right, I want to add media there. Right? Upload, select this one. Ta-da! I do have a post about the Raspberry Pi Tower. For the video taking too long, maybe a background image until the YouTube embed. That's not a bad idea. Alt text. Lesson pager on the C# in the cards website. Title, same thing. Caption, same thing. Description, yep. Center, link to the media file, sure. I don't need the full size. Yes, I do have a Raspberry Pi Tower. Yep. Blazor lets me build content to be rendered on the web, and I get to choose where exactly it should run. Period. It can run in the browser with WebAssembly. It can run statically on the server. It can run interactively on the server if I want it to. Period. In this case, running as WebAssembly gives a really nice usability effect that makes it easy for viewers to locate the content they want to watch. period. Yes, you can tell certain components to not statically render. Absolutely. That's what I'm doing right there. Where's the code? Ah. It forces the render mode to WebAssembly. And ASP.NET will pre-render as well as of that component's resultant HTML with the homepage. There we go. Save draft. Take a look at the preview, and I think we're just about ready to publish this. What don't you like about the word pre-rendered there? No. I think we're okay with pre-render like that. This is going to be ASP.NET Core. And yeah, let me add a summary and we'll wrap this up and ship it. This website's been easy for me to build because I can rely on my normal HTML skills and the plethora of HTML templates and CSS libraries out there to make my website look good, period. Blazor helps me to make it interactive, render quickly, and grow as I add more content to it, period. My cost and interaction with Azure is minimal, comma, as I'm using a basic 2 instance of Azure App Service. Ooh, it choked good there. Right, do I mention which instance I'm using? No. As I'm using a basic 2 instance of Azure App Service running Linux to deliver this site. Hey, Chibi-chan!
Subscribed for 10 months.
Thank you so much for the resub, and I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society. Oh yeah, .NET 8's Docker. Well, it was in .NET 7 as well. Docker support is really, really good. Is there a way to set Windows dictation to some specific context so that Blazor is right? I don't think so. Yeah. Right. Let's see if it's anywhere else. Nope, got it. What else? What else do we want to say here? Let's link to this. Let's also put it up in the top here. Oh, hang on. Link that to the same site so folks can find it. Let's find anywhere that there is network. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Anywhere else? Nope, we're good. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to mention response, compression, and caching. Hey, Bauxite. Okay, so before the summary here, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I forgot response compression. That was something that I added that folks don't remember to do. And I also added Web Optimizer. I wanted to talk about both of these. Web Optimizer is, yeah, to compress that content, but response compression, yes. Let's add something about that, right? And it's not in the default template, so folks forget to do this. So, no, I didn't do the Telegram functionality yet. I've been slowly adding new providers because I've been trying to do, trying to add more user interface functionality. But it's coming. It's on the agenda. If you want to contribute, if that's something, you've got extensive experience working with Telegram. If you want to help with that, I'm all ears. All ears. But otherwise, we'll get to it at some point weeks ahead. It's going to take before I get there. Compress the content from Kestrel. By default, content that's shipped from content that's delivered from the ASP.NET Kestrel web server is uncompressed. Period. We can add Brotli compression to the web server and deliver content in a much smaller package to our visitors with just a few simple lines of code in Program CS. Period. This is something that I think everybody should do with their internet-facing websites, And I'm just going to, I'm not even going to use a gist for this. And I do want the, if not debug on this. If you're not in debug mode, add response compression. Yeah, compress all the things. Yeah, yeah. Let's talk more about a bauxite offline later. Yeah. I like that. I don't want heading 2 there. Let's make this paragraph. Add response compression configures the server so that it will deliver Brotli compressed content. Period. In this application, I wrap it with the conditional debug. Detection so that we can still work locally and have hot reload enabled. Period. No. Because hot reload does not work with compression enabled. So, when we deliver the website to the production hosting space, it will be running in release mode and compression will be enabled. Period. Get rid of the so. That's to the, yeah, that's fine. Let's just say to the production host. To the production web host. Production web host is fine. Right? Does that make sense? Last thing I wanted to talk about is here, Web Optimizer. Let's just put that in. optimize all the JavaScript. Oh, wait a sec. I also did a thing. Where is it? I put a thing on static files here to set the cache control to really, really far in the future. Yeah, to a year in the future on all of the CSS, JavaScript, and images. So let's put that in as well. Let's mention that. Optimize all the JavaScript and CSS. CSS and JavaScript can be minified and consolidated into one file to make it easier to download and have less waiting as that content that formats and enables the website is processed. Where the heck did my code go? CSS and JavaScript. Really? To reduce the number of downloads, the number and size of downloads for this static content that makes our websites look good. For this website, I installed and used the Web Optimizer package available on NuGet. Period. My configuration for this looks like the following, : and NuGet Web Optimizer. It is Lagershark Web Optimizer. I don't think it's that one. Where is it? Oh, no, it is. There we go. Do something like this and like that. And I'll put in that link, have it go to a new tab, done. And let's put some of that code right there. Create a gist for that. Web Optimizer configuration for C# in the cards websites. Program CS. Boom. Let's edit that. Hang on. That's fine. There we go. Embed. Bring that over here. Just before summary. Drop it in there. This script bundles the CSS files that were delivered with my website template. And what else? And minifies the one JavaScript file that I manage with my project. Last bit that I want to mention is set long cache control headers for static content. The last thing that I did was set long duration cache dash control headers for static content like images, CSS, and JavaScript files. Right? Yeah, right there. This is easy to do with just a few more lines of optional configuration when I configure the static file feature inside of ASP.NET Core, : let's fix that and this. Yep, and I'll just add this last block of code and we'll ship. Right. Cache control header configuration for the C# in the cards website. Program CS. See, it takes a while to write blog posts, don't it, friends? And boom. I don't need to do the use web optimizer. Let's see. Let's format this a little bit so that it's easy for folks to find. And where is it? I set max time span, max age. There it is. Create that. Copy that, John. Yeah. Where's the rest of my content in there? Oh, it's summary. Looks good. Right? I think so. I think so. It's on my website, so. Come on, finish loading. We'll take a look. Cache it. Yeah. That's why your blog has like 5 posts, right? How does this optimize the site? It prevents stuff from being reloaded by proxies in between. They won't reload the content again and again and again. So by doing pre-rendering and caching, it won't constantly come through and request that content. We're offloading and stopping it from coming back. That is awful. And that's not how you spell cache control. Ah, you're right. You're right. I don't want tabs. Oh, gosh, make it spaces fine. Still tabs in there. I can put that on that line. Ugh. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Delete that. Don't need it. Update. That should be a little bit easier to read over here now. So, Tags app is open source. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, yes, yes. How you doing there, Phantom Aim Gaming? Hello, welcome. Let me see here. I sound like I'd make a fantastic voice actor. Thank you, Phantom Aim Gaming. I've tried to do a little bit of that. I've tried. That's a little bit better in the formatting. This one is still awful. Can I go back to that one? Show me my gists over here. This one. Yeah. No, just have it go 2. That's fine. Ugh. Right, like, fine, I'll force the size of this thing. Why don't I just copy that 4 spaces? No! Right, now I can just do paste. Paste. Paste, space. Yup. No, take that back too. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Come on now. Almost done. Yep. I think that'll do it. And make that code less hideous here. How you doing, Chris Jones? Hello. I will record something for folks for channel points, yes. And I definitely feel that I have radio voice on today. Like, my voice is feeling particularly gravelly and whatnot. I should probably link to the pricing of this so folks get some idea of what that is. Azure Pricing App Service. Jump me right into that. Thank you. Right. Mm-hmm. This one. And it's Linux. I want the Linux one. Right? Yeah. Right, so I'm using a basic 2 right now for that. So I'll just link that down at the bottom, and I think we'll ship it. Dun, 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 this go. I should have a featured image. I actually like that one. Tags, Blazor, ASP.NET Core, Azure, sure. Publish that, John. And there you go. Get it saved, get it published. It doesn't matter what it says. It's on the gist. It's a user preference. So, cool. So if I go to my website, you can get to my website at either jeffreyfritz.com or c#fritz.com. Both go to the same place. There it is. So, there you go. Fantastic. Cool. Done. All right. So there you go. It's right on the root of my website. Thanks so much for giving me some feedback. And as we wrote this little blog post today, that means a lot to me. And I'll get it posted over on LinkedIn and Twitter and all the places. Cheermonger. Let me head back over to the questions over here. Cheermonger right here. No, it's somewhere. What's the best way to transfer from Dynamics 365 dev to .NET dev? Applying to jobs, but no one is responding. What's the best way to transfer? I would I don't have experience in Dynamics 365, so it's going to be hard for me to say what you can carry from there to .NET Dev. I encourage folks to build little projects on your own that solve something for you. The typical project I suggest to folks as a way to get started and have something that you're invested in that helps you, and you're going to get you're hopefully going to get a little bit interest from is build a website, an application, a mobile application that manages your collection. We've all got a collection of things. I collect comic books. Other folks collect Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, movie posters, coins, stamps. Write a little application that tracks whatever your collection is. Figure that out, learn about that, publish some of that source code to GitHub, and feel what that looks like. Practice. I need the Allen Iverson practice quote. I need that in a bad way. Like I referenced the New Age Outlaws the other day, and now I can do this.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't. I didn't know you could do that. But when we're talking about learning a new skill and transitioning your career into a different technology, practice. We're talking about practice. Tinker with it. Try some things. Break your own project. That's a good thing. Use source control like GitHub so that you can roll back to what happened before you broke it. And I appreciate that not everybody's as confident and daring as this guy right here on stream to go out and try things in public and fail publicly. Like, I can type and talk and instruct at the same time. Folks that saw me, that have seen me speak at various events recently, Dev Intersection, Dev Reach in Bulgaria. I was at Svitog in Stockholm. I talk through and instruct, just like I do here live on stream, in front of a live audience, with code live on screen, and show the whole thing going and building and developing. That's the number one skill that I think that I have as an instructor. The second is I'm not afraid to do something stupid in public.
It's illegal in 9 countries.
Well, no, but it is.
60% of the time, it works every time.
So, practice. Don't be afraid to fail and break things. And you're doing it on your own laptop, your own computer, in your own browser. It's okay. And look, there's folks in this stream, in my Discord, there's other Discords out there, programming Discords, that are happy to answer questions and help you if you run into something that doesn't quite work the way you want it to. Practice and build up to it and have a little bit of a repository of code that you know how it works, and you'll have the confidence to get in and do interviews. The job market right now for tech folks is bad because so many folks got laid off at the big companies that they're now filtering down into smaller companies and taking jobs. It's going to take a little bit for that to all filter out, but you'll definitely find an opportunity there. Bauxite wants to redeem a voiceover to play on stream. A number of folks have done that, and I'm happy to record content for folks to play on stream. Absolutely. Built. Yeah, use words like built. Good action words like that make a difference. For the voiceover channel point redeem, Surly Devs asks, is there a recommended number of words or duration? I won't go much longer than 30 seconds to a minute for the channel point redemptions. There are companies that have asked me, and you will see, I record commercials for them. But that's something that takes a lot of work for me. I'm not going to do that I'm not going to record a commercial for somebody for free. So I do charge a fee for that. If folks are interested in that, I do have a price sheet that I am happy to share for folks that are serious about about buying that type of interaction. But it's not something I publicly advertise. Cheermonger keeps bringing up that you want to do more .NET work, and they keep saying yes real soon. That's frustrating. That's totally frustrating. I get where you're talking, Cheermonger. Yeah. Hey, Crash Systems, you 100% agree. Find a project, does something you want to do. Right. And if it's something that you're invested in, because it makes something that you enjoy easier and more fun, more interesting, more fun to do. So you have a comic book collection app that you wrote. Totally. There you go. Bauxite. Yeah. So you learned a little bit about database. You learned a little bit about data storage and how you collect and keep that information. A comic book collection app is, or a stamp or coin collection app is really fun to build because you can take pictures of those things and store those pictures with the information about your collection so that it's easy to see and reference those inside your app, and you don't have to go into your collection's case storage and go find it. Hey, what did that X-Men comic book look like? Oh, there it is, right? And of course, there's folks that have photos of those out available on the net that you can use as well. I'm basically you. We'll see about that. Chris Jones says, asked a while back while we were doing Clip Talk, did I ever cover how I used Node or SAS compilation as part of the .NET build step? I never included that, but it is a build step that happens. It was happening as part of the GitHub action. Drop me a line on that, and I'll put together another blog post. I'm working with a friend to do more promotion, more social media, more valuable social media interaction to drive more viewership into YouTube channels, Twitch, C# into cards, and get that growing. So writing more blog posts is definitely in my wheelhouse. You're going to do that every time I play what? This?
Oh, you didn't know?
Do I believe there'll be a lot of job offers with Blazor, asks Scott. It's coming. It's growing. It's coming. And as companies find it, it's coming. I've talked to a number of folks. There is a significant Blazor development community. There are organizations that are using websites, public companies, governments, nonprofit organizations. There are many organizations that are using Blazor. Many. Are they in your part of the world? I don't know. But it's coming. The folks are picking up and using it, and they are getting interested, and they're doing more with it. It's coming. Best way to learn is to fail. Totally agree. Let's code. I agree, Jay. Let's get in and do some code here. One problem with learning is AI is slowly replacing Discord and forums. And I'm disappointed with that. I'm sad about that. Because the human interaction that we get is important. So AI will take you only so far, and I think there's definitely a place for Discord and those types of things. No, software developers aren't getting laid off. Not even IT and marketing are going to get laid off, because there's new ways to do things, and we need people to get and figure out how to do that. That's cool, Surly Dev. No problem. We can do that. What's the most frustrating language I've ever used? Frustrating F#. And I only say that because I had a hard time learning it. So I'm going to say F# because I had a hard time learning it. Why does .NET Core not allow multiple DB context in one MVC app? It does, ChessNoob. It does. And I have that. ChessNoob, I'm glad you asked that question. It's up here somewhere. I don't know where it is. We have it in Tags app. When we get into the code, remind me, and I'll show you, okay? When we get into the code. In fact, let me put the project link in here so that you get the link out to the code that we're going to talk about today. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Improving the startup experience in Tags app for developers that want to contribute. And let me grab the URL and I'm going to post that into the project link. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a link to Tags app in the description just below, okay? So you can click through and get into that. Let me pin that message that the bot put on Twitch to the top. There you go. So on the top of chat, and you can get in and you can tinker with that. It's open source. Download it, break it, have a good time seeing what we've done in there. Collection app would be good for insurance documentation too, says Wonkman. Yeah, sure. Let's see here. Anoop on YouTube. How you doing there, Anoop? Do I believe DSAI Go questions asked during interviews effectively measure the essential skills? I would rather give an interviewee a block of code and ask them to explain what they think it does. That, I think, better measures the skills of the candidates. Here's the block of code. What does this do? Tell me a little bit about what it does. And then I'm seeing what they understand about that block of code and how they use the language. .NET offers great things. It does. Jay, what? I look like who?
What's that?
Who?
What's that?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that?
No, who? Jack Nicholson. Well. Vast majority of Blazor apps that Bauxite has seen are internal applications. Yes. And that's what I'm trying to break through with this blog post that I just put out. Is you don't have to build internal applications with this. You can do more things with it. I'm going to open another analytics page in another browser here off screen so I can see if folks are actually going to the website. I didn't even share the link yet, so I don't expect a lot of folks going to my blog yet, but hey. No, my blog. This one. I don't know if that's the right one. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. Cool. And there's folks on the C# and the Cards website also. Fantastic. Continuing here. Have a good one, Napalm. It is 11, yes. F#'s pretty good. Not going to lie. But for me, it was frustrating because I had a hard time learning. U.S. English. Stop it. Am I going to revisit the Stream Deck app and upgrade it from .NET 3.5? I need to. And actually, our friend Code Rushed, Mark Miller, has done a bit of that. We absolutely need to do that at some point. Yes. You've taken printouts of sections of code to job interviews. Hey, that's a good idea. Sure. What can I do to get an interview call from Microsoft? Not much right now. There is a bit of a hiring freeze right now at Microsoft. Look for job postings in May, June, July. You either have to know somebody or when there will be a glut of jobs that are posted in May, June, July as we get to the end of the fiscal year and folks start planning for and getting budgets approved for fiscal 2025. You'll hear from departments on the careersmicrosoft.com website then. right now. They're literally hiring for need, and they need to get special exception to hire folks. So, Crash System says, find that showing up with a body of work is worth more than anything else on the resume. Yeah, there you go. Have I ever tried F Sharp and Fable? I have not, McNets. No. Dungarath, what's my stance on warnings during build? I need to do something about it. I mostly ignore them. I need to do something about it. I'm awful about it in TagZap. I want to take a chore item before I do my next release and go through and clean them up. There's hundreds of them right now in TagZap, and I'm embarrassed. It's like looking in a kid's messy bedroom right now, Dungarath. I feel awful about it. I do. So, F Sharp and Blazor is your jam. That's very cool. Yeah, Avalonia and F Sharp's pretty good. You had a phone call from Microsoft about 10 years ago for a job, went through the first coding challenge, but pulled out because you weren't ready to relocate to Reading in the UK at the time. Remote working is very much a thing. The folks at Microsoft are very supportive about it. Hey, Thindall. That feeling when you've been bashing your head with XAML for an entire day and then you get it working. Yeah. It feels so good when you get it working. But you're annoyed at yourself for it. So, yeah. I know, Deflux. I'm sorry. I am awful about that, but it's the truth. Let me head over to the code. We were talking about TagZap a little bit. I've been trying to improve the first start experience as you get in and start working on TagZap, and I'm going to make sure that it's something that you out there can download and try and work through and help contribute and learn a little bit from TagZap, because I mentioned earlier the F5 ability to hit F5 and just start using TagZap is not great right now. So let me jump over to TagZap. That'll open a second Visual Studio. I don't want two Visual Studios. I only need one. I only need one Visual Studio here, darn it. You see, the branch I'm working on is called Fix First Start. Let me bring this over here. And I will head over to that screen, and we can start talking about this. There we go. There we go. Here comes Copilot, getting things started there. Thanks so much. Change their mind then. Yeah, there you go. So, when you start TagZap, if you don't have configuration defined, right? So you just download the application. Yeah, that's good. That's good. First off, you have to be in the Blazor project to run it. That should be set as the startup project right now, and it is, in Visual Studio. But I want to kind of point you there and get you there to get started. So maybe I need to put a start script in my scripts folder or right at the base of the source code so that it's, here's how to get started. Just run start and it starts. Something like that, maybe. So, let me get the gunners on here. Hang on. There we go. Look at those errors. Like, that scares people when they see those errors. So what I've done, I put some error trapping, some error handling around it. That's not over my ears right. There we go. And now it puts, hey, I was having a hard time, unable to initialize that database provider Postgres. I think I might be able to give a little bit more description here. Like, the error that it unable to connect to configuration, this right here, the NPG SQL exception. I think I can promote that all the way up to here so that it becomes clearer what that is. You get excited when you do something and errors change to new errors? Ionescu asks if new Windows phones come around, who would get them? You're referring to Windows phones with the Metro, the modern user interface? I would totally be on it. I would be on it. Yes. Oh, yes. So DB configure, right? This is where it's erroring out. Right? I want to make this clearer for folks so that it's, hey, you need to go and set these things up. Unable to connect to configuration database. I think is my message that I put in here. Where is it? Not set configuration. Not dispose. Right there. And I am passing up the inner exception, which is that NPG SQL. So NPG exception. So let's make this a little bit more. Right? I can do that. Can I do that? Right? I want to grab if it's one of those. Right? Can I do it? Hey, there we go. At. And let's see, does it give me SQL state? So what do those look like? I'm going to run the debugger so I can see exactly what that looks like in there. So let's say source. And see what that looks like when we get there. You loved Windows Phone, worked with a colleague that really loved his, but he couldn't get a banking app as first phone. Yeah. So consider this. If Windows Phone operating system came back, I have no insight into this. Full disclaimer, I am not on any team that's working on anything like this. But if Windows Phone came back, now that Windows operating system can run Android apps natively, if you had a Windows Phone that ran native Android apps and gave you that same user interface, that'd be pretty cool, right? So, yeah, the source right now is NPG SQL. The message is failed to connect to this. So let's just say failed to connect to configuration Postgres database. I don't need to include the inner exception, but I can say it like that. Yeah, fine. Oh, because I left a comma out there. So that bobbles up, if I look over here, right into this. Unable to initialize configuration provider. Where did I put that? Really? Really? There's a space in the front, you dog. There it is. If I bring that exception, if I do bring that exception along, right, as an inner exception, can we do something like this? If EX inner exception is NPG exception, hang on. go back like this. EX inner exception switch. Right, like that, and this. NPG exception. We're going to output ex.message. Otherwise, something like that. Right? That's kind of the way to do it, isn't it? Go rerun that. Sometimes you think it would be done to do streams about some of the back-end stuff you do. Data centers don't like you running around. No, they don't. No. This is a switch statement in and it's pattern matching is what it's called. It was released 3 or 4 versions ago. So it's absolutely available to use there. There you go. Now it's very clear what it is, and I'm bubbling up all of that information. So make it very clear, hey, you need this. I also think that when you select, right, I added a little bit of a description here, SQLite, Postgres, in memory. If you choose in memory and you submit to have that running, like nothing happens. Gotta fix that. SQLite, nothing happens. Let's fix those features. It can be really concise. Yep. You want to know why Python is adding features like that? I don't know if it is why, but the Python language designer is sitting and working with the other Microsoft language designers. So, like, are they being influenced by them? Probably. So. Okay. I've got about a half hour left here to work on this. So where is it? First start configuration. I know there's stuff that's not quite right for Blazor in here. Labels with selects that bind to values. See, that's the old ASP.NET way to do things, and that doesn't work. Crapteen, thank you so much for the follow. I can't believe I said Crapteen. Whatever. Thank you. Appreciate the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So, let's go. Let's clean this up a little bit. This is trying to do the typical validation, data annotation validation. So. Well, that's not right. And first start config. Down here. Yeah, connection string is required. Here's my thing. Here's what I'm thinking. Folks don't know what the typical streamer, the typical tech person that's going to be configuring Tags app doesn't know how to write a connection string. So where this is easy for us to just get it running, let's let's see if we can put together easy mode, if you will. Not even a placeholder. like, yeah, a typical developer has to look up the syntax or have Copilot generate it for you, stuff like that. I started learning Go, and I got into it, and then I was learning how to use Go to build a website, and I'm like, why am I handling the HTTP protocol myself? Doesn't somebody already have something that does this? Like, and at that point, I kind of walked away and was like, there's got to be better ways to do some of this. Like, yeah, net HTTP. Right. You're handling the HTTP protocol yourself, and you're writing your own web server. Like, I don't want to write my own web server. I want to write my own website. Give me something that does that. So I don't think it's even getting into this. Because it's doing a submit here, and this form is interactive server. Let's turn this into an edit form. No. Come here, you. On valid submit. There we go. On form validate. Close enough. Right? So I have input radio group. I have a label. Let's make this an input select. Input select. I thought it was options inside of it. Input select Blazor. All one word. Yup. They're just options inside of it. Okay. So what don't you like? Eh? Okay. Fine. Continuing here. Let's make this an input text. Input select. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I feel like I want to have either all input components or all HTML components. I don't want to kind of dilly-dally back and forth between them. You know? Here's another one. Input text. And then see the ASP validation for it? No. Let's add a... I need to specify a model. It's only a model. Model equals config. Thank you. Go back over to that thing. Right is it? It's like from form supply parameter from form. Thank you. I think that's what I need. Data annotations validator. Yes. Give me one of those. Give me a validation summary up top. That's nice. That's nice. Everybody likes automated validation. It'll make you feel good. Or checkers. Checkers? There's a demo, there's a tutorial for Blazor that you can find. Hey, look at that. Yeah, here. Blazor Connect 4 tutorial. I built this. And it will go through and show you the game logic and how it works in managing game state and managing pieces. I built this. It's intended to be very simple. Has a little CSS animation to do the drop effect. Take a look. This is, if you want something to learn that'll get you somewhere and be a little bit interesting, go check it out. So I don't know who this person is who wrote effectively the exact same thing. So whatever. But yep. But chess is even harder to do. Chess engine is very difficult to build. Yeah, you're welcome, Colin. Yeah, take a look. Let me know what you think. I mean, Connect 4 is a simple problem. And quite frankly, we can load into the engine for Connect 4 what all of the winning positions are, because you can only have, you can calculate all the positions, all the winning positions. So it as a engine to try and win, look for where you've got 2 in a row leading, and you can make it 3 in a row and even 4 in a row in one of those scenarios, and have it play to build that out. But you need to balance that with defensive maneuvers. The game engine that I wrote for that tutorial has, like I said, it has here's all the winning scenarios saved as arrays. And all it does is it just does a lookup, and I think there's 80 different winning positions in a standard Connect 4 board. So we can do that with Link very easily to just look up in that array, does this exist in the array? And it'll respond very, very quickly. You could and doing it as an array and passing it back and forth like that is slow performance wise. You could convert it to a bit array, and a very small bit array, and do binary anding against it, and wherever it comes back, when it comes back true, you win, and just blow across that quickly. So yeah, doing the bit manipulation would go through faster. It for new developers, it hides what's actually going on, and doing it with more robust objects and showing that it's checking, does this pattern exist in that collection, and storing what looks like a matrix of ones and zeros. While that's less efficient, it's better teaching material because students can see, oh, that's a game board, and go through it there. Something that understands the rules of chess. That's pretty straightforward, Bauxite. Yeah. Understands the rules of chess and knows what check and checkmate are. Yeah. Does it know en passant? Does it know the French move? Does it know the constraints around castling? Right? Some of those are constraints around castling. Most folks know. En passant, folks do not know that. There are so many Americans that say, "Oh yeah, I know how to play chess," and you you move a pawn en passant. And they're like, you can't do that. To hell I can. So, look it up. I just passed and captured your pawn. Suck it. So this should now do validation, but it's going to fail if you don't submit a connection string. So I want to make connection string a little bit more approachable. We need chess 2.0 and Nerf Queen? I'm not familiar. What's Nerf Queen? You're terrible at opening memorization. There was a while that I was memorizing openings. Sicilian, Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit declined. And I particularly was going after, was it the English or Spanish opening? And I was trying to learn them. Nerf the Queen. Nerf the Junker Queen. Ooh. Ooh. Fritz talked about Overwatch. Yeah, I want to play Overwatch on the stream. I want to do a little bit of that. So what happened there? What happened there? Holy crow! What's going on the market? I'm getting notices on my phone here that the market is moving. Holy smokes. Is this in response to NVIDIA last night? Meta is crushing it right now. Microsoft up 7 3/4. Meta's up 1880. Amazon's up 380. All right. All right. Apple is barely up 65 cents. Wow. Somebody's buying on a Thursday and buying a lot. Yeah, those NVIDIA returns are crazy. In a good way. The market is up significantly. Yeah. Hey. That's great. Glad to see it. Keep it moving in that direction. Here we go. All right, I've got to getting that AI money. So I'm going to simplify the connection string for basic configuration. Right? So there's two types of configuration that pop up in this window. No, not that one. This one. And if you choose in memory, I don't need to give you a connection string. If you choose SQLite, I think I just force the name of a database and the name of a database file and generate the connection string myself. Like, here it is. tagzap.db. Done. I also need to make sure that the SQLite database populates properly. I don't think I've gone back and reevaluated that in a while. And made sure that that's doing what it should be doing. So that's... What the heck happened here? Yeah, I got pulled into a Blazor conversation. Whatever. Yeah, if you select SQLite, I'm going to generate and place a connection string in here for SQLite. Right? So there's basic, advanced. So can we do an at on change? On selection change. And let's write something called calculate basic connection string. Sure, that sounds good. Thank you. No. Is there like a selection change event args? Select. Give me some args, man. I'd like some args. Change event args? I don't know. That sounds good. Does that work? Is that not going to get upset? Yes, it does. I just wrote it. It's right over here. See, it's right there. It passes just event args. Okay. So what if I say on change? Aha! All right, so now, right, I can look at, here's the value that was passed in and I can work with. SQLite doesn't count as a database? You need something... For somebody who's just installing and running locally, SQLite's like good enough, you know? You enjoy pro player chess games, sometimes playing Bullet or Blitz. Watching Magnus play Blitz is a scream. Actually, Microsoft SQL isn't an option. Can we use Excel as a database? Chris Jones, the first bot that I published and shared on Twitch doesn't use Excel as a database. It uses it uses Google Sheets as a database. I like them apples. So, yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. If you select SQLite, then I'm gonna pre-calculate that connection string. So yeah. If e.value equals SQLite string comparison invariant culture blah blah blah, I'm going to grab this John. No. Copilot chat is it's really not working for me. Copilot chat is broken on my machine. Yeah, look at that. Yee. Restart. CodeRush uses Google Sheets for his bot configuration options. Whew. Ooh. Didn't know that. Sure, recover everything. Chat.bing. Because it's easy to do this. Yeah. Ta-da! No. Generate a database connection string for a SQLite database file named tagzap.db.
Sure, here is the SQLite connection string for a database file named tags_app.db. Connection_string equals SQLite // tags_app.db. This connection string indicates that the SQLite database tags_app.db is in the same directory as your script. If your database is in a different location, you would need to specify the full path. For example, if your database is in a directory named database in the same location as your script, the connection string would...
Can you update that connection string so that it works with C# and .NET code? Because I don't think that syntax works. I broke it. I broke Bing. No! Can you repeat that? Because Copilot Chat is broken for me. Now I've done it.
Of course. Here's the connection string
That's
for a
what I wanted.
SQLite database file
Really? That's all
named
it is?
tags_app.db in C#. String connection string equals...
Thanks. You don't need to keep talking to me. I get it. Thank you. You're so nice. Thank you, Bing lady. Is it Mrs. Bing? Ms. Bing? Ms. Bing. Definitely Ms. Bing. Does it work in code? No. I just did Alt/ and it crashed Visual Studio. Like, I've talked to the team about it and they say there's no problem with that. I've got video of it not working. In VS Code, I haven't tried it over there. Where was I? Here. That. So let's do this. Wait. Where did it go? Oh, because I had to recover. If e.value equals squealite, string comparison, invariant culture, ignore case. Config dot connection string equals. Give me a $sign there if you don't mind. No, I don't need it, actually. Why don't you like that? What? E-value, value equals, yeah. Hey, Aztec Consulting. Hello. I'm about to punch out here. I've got to head for a Microsoft meeting. Azure API Management, I do not. Wait, Galloway told you to troll me in chat? The John Galloway? John Galloway? Object equals cannot be accessed with an instance reference. You're kidding. Oh! I forgot the... He was in your stream chat about a month ago? Oh, no. Now I've got Microsoft people tracking me down. But come on, fail and not quite as fail. Input select requires a value for the value expression parameter when using bind value. Oops. Right, because I converted things to input text. Right? Here. Does it say which component that's on? It's on input select. Here. Does that help? That's my alarm. Let me go fix the other one. Right? If I change this to bind value. Where's the other input select? Yeah, you. Bind value. Rebuild. Feels bad, man. Input text requires a value for value expression. Yeah, fine. Input radio, input select, here. Do all of those. I don't need to add a validation message. Hot reload succeeded. Did it though? Fancy. So if I choose Squealite, it didn't put a value in there. Try that again. Try that again. Well, that is taking its good old time restarting. Do I have any recommended resources for learning upskilling on using PowerShell terminal? I don't. No. What do I think about .NET Aspire with Grafana? I think we're going to do that live on stream next week. No, it did not. The on change of that should do the thing and generate this. Yeah, I did shut down. You were supposed to do that. Right, so... Why does it say it's not referenced anywhere? It's right there, on change. You son of a gun. You really? Really? Because I forgot the @ sign. Oh, there it is. And when I select Squealite, no. Didn't even... Lisa and I crashed my entire computer on stream by overloading USB bus with data. I've done that in the past. Not with ham radio, but I've done that in the past. I've crashed my machine during stream. My production machine. And then I moved to 2 machines for delivering content for a while. I have a feeling we'll end up back at 2 machines to deliver content. 2025 maybe? So... Ooh, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. No, it's supposed to stop. Ah, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrapping up. I will save that for next time. How you doing there, Junie? For the goggles? The goggles? Is that like for the win, but with goggles? Yep, so there's the exception that it's throwing. Good. We're trapping, handling, and over here. And when I select SqueaLite, it's not. Well, yeah, you actually have to. Provider field is required. Yes, give me one of those. And it's not dropping into here. Why not? No. It's input select. Like, I have it on change now. What else? It's not input. It's not one. I don't want to do one of the mouse events. Not play. Not a pointer event. On select. On selection change. I thought that was the one that I wanted. But it doesn't like that. I mean, because it doesn't know what to do with this. Yes, I'm still editing code. Thank you. In which case, I can do config.provider and inspect coming in that way. I don't think it actually hot reloaded. No. 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 You're the event handlers in Blazor are actions, so you don't need to give it that syntax. But it is properly handling this failure here and putting the message. But it's not. Why isn't it? I'm gonna have to debug and look into that later. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna commit. Let's push this. No, not that music yet. Hang on. Come on, use the fun music, Fritz. Like, really? There we go. Let me commit and push this code out so folks can take a look at it. Yeah. Working on generating default connection strings for the simpler data providers. Just generate a simple SQLite connection string. Generate it appropriately for something simple there. Should the return type be void? Yep. Yep. New template generates both these projects because the one without the client part is the server. Yes, that's right, Dr. Cox. Yep. There we go. So that code is out there on my fork of the website source code. So if you go to the website source code, it's linked at the top of chat. It's in the description of the YouTube video just below. You can get to my branch and see where I'm working on this. I'm in the fix first start branch in my repository under C# Fritz on GitHub. Let me head back over to wrap things up here. Oh heck, let's see if there's anybody on the street that we can catch up with here. Anybody wandering by as we're wrapping up, trying to head out here? Anybody? Huh? And maybe over here. Anybody? Hey, you! Come on, come learn some C# with us. No. Oh well. It is time for me to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been fun. Writing code with you, answering questions, having a good time here. Yeah, that JavaScript guy again. I'll be back on Tuesday next week writing more code. We'll see if I can sneak in over the weekend. But Tuesday I'm scheduled to be back, and we'll write some more code. We'll dive further into this. If you jump on the Discord. There's a little bit of discussion going on there as I add new features. I might hang out a little bit on Discord as I'm building some things and let folks know what's happening and push in different directions. Certainly, if you want to contribute to something in TagsApp, drop a message on the Discord. We'll talk about it. We'll push and get you the things you need to be productive and be a good contributing member. It knew this hat earlier. It got this hat very easily earlier today.
Now we
There you
know.
go.
And knowing is half the battle.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me get you connected on Twitch with somebody else who's streaming, maybe doing some tech, maybe doing something that's cool to share with the friends. You know what? Let's learn a little bit more about what's going on with you know what? No. Let's go to somebody else who's learning a little bit. I'm going to go raid Adam Learns Live. If you're on YouTube, I've got lots of great videos for you here. Check them out just below and over on the side there. You're gonna find older episodes, older live streams available, and you're gonna find lots of great content, tips, and learning material like the Learn C# with cards. I'm sorry, C# into cards video series. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next week. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.